If you seriously believe every K-pop group are BFFs, please name a time you got along with your group mates during an assigned group project. Let that sink in. Hey beautiful people, how are y'all feeling? So recently my friends sent me these tweets about IVE being coworkers. So people notice that IVE seems very awkward with each other. Anyway, here's some examples. 라이브 사랑해! 라이브 from our family to yours. Happy Thanksgiving from our family to yours. I can't believe I'm saying this, but for once, Fifth Harmony looks coordinated. And the comments, oh my god, like, Lizzo, not Lizzo, Lizzo, what did Gal do to you? Like, I wanna know, did she steal your kimchi or something? There's another time where wonyoung looks so dumb with their maknae Lizzo. When my friend sent me this video, I legit told her this is why minors should not debut because they'll do embarrassing things like this. Another TikTok I'm gonna show is a response video to how wonyoung seemed to race to be the center of an airport photo shoot, which caused Gal to look lost as she was already heading to the center. However, it's possible that wonyoung is instructed by Starship to always be the center and she can't really fight back, so it's unfair to call her fame hungry, but man, Gal looks like a lost puppy. Lastly, when asked what their group chat name is, the members just said IVE, which sounds pretty plain and generic because oftentimes in most group chats for close friends and family, the name is often lighthearted. For example, my group chat I have with my cousin is called the Fresh Butt Crew. Now, to be fair, wonyoung put a white heart next to the group chat name, which sounds very adorable and loving. So in essence, people are joking or even dragging IVE for acting like coworkers because they don't come off as friends. Instead, their bond comes off as artificial compared to other groups. However, it's just possible that IVE are close to each other, as in a lot of behind the scenes videos they engage in skinship such as hugging. It could be that they're just introverted in public. As well, you can be close with someone without being overly touching with each other. So my friend who sent me these IVE videos, she and I have been friends for around 7 years, but she's not a very affectionate person. She does not like hugs at all. But she and I vibe because she's so funny and down to her. And I pretty much tell her everything from dating mishaps to personal struggles to achievement. It's just people have different love languages. For her, she just expresses her love silently. That being said, I think it's really ridiculous and naive that a lot of people are dissing IVE by calling them coworkers because a lot of K-pop groups are generally not friends. In this video essay, I will argue that due to the competitive and manufactured environment of K-pop, most groups aren't close or do not get along to the point that they fake their dynamics on camera. Ultimately, K-pop groups fall under 3 categories. BFFs, we tolerate each other, but we are not close at all, or we don't get along at all. Now, there's going to be so much to unpack in this video, so here's a basic roadmap. Number 1, is it true that K-pop groups don't get along? Why? Reason number 1, manufacture. Reason number 2, competitiveness. Reason number 3, jealousy. Are idols trained to look like friends on camera? Examples of groups I don't think get along versus groups I think are generally close. Does it matter that IVE aren't friends? And K-pop plus parasocial relationships. Now let's dive in. So, is it true that K-pop groups don't get along? Why? Okay, if you really don't believe me, let's hear from K-pop's most brutally honest idol, Jessie. Now, when asked what was it like to work with BTS for a commercial, Jessie said this in an Instagram live.
I feel like they're doing well even so because not only are they like good and stuff, but they actually have a great teamwork. Because I've actually seen it, I've witnessed it, and I was like, you know, I see idols and like groups just like not liking each other. Because obviously when you're with people for too long, 너무 오래, 이제 like 너무 오랫동안 같이 이렇게 있으면 서로 막 부딪히고 그럴 수도 있잖아요. You know, when you're like in a group, obviously if you see them 24 hours, like you're gonna like bump heads, right? But I've seen the way that they work, like for like we were working for like over 14 hours. They have really good they're just their friendship, like they're actually friends and
okay guys, we got an eyewitness, case closed. Most groups don't get along. Now why exactly don't groups get along or aren't close? What are the root causes? Jessie did briefly answer this question, but I'll have my witness number 2, Amber Liu of FX, to explain. Back in July 2019, Amber was a guest on Just Kidding News, which is a YouTube channel. And when they asked her why one of her group members left, Amber said this.
Like, the worst part about like K-pop is that in the end, a lot of the groups are just very manufactured, and we're like a billion different people being put into one group, and we have to spend 24 hours with each other. You're gonna go crazy.
Oh yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, because it wasn't naturally like fit.
Now, Amber pretty much explained why most groups don't get along. It's a manufactured dynamic. Unlike a lot of Western groups like Destiny's Child or NSYNC, where they were friends before they became bandmates, K-pop idols are literally thrown into a group by their company, causing them to lack natural chemistry. That's why at the beginning of the video, I asked y'all if you ever got along with someone in a assigned group project. I know majority of you will say no. You may not like them because of their personality, work habits, which happened to Leia and Fatu of Black Swan. Back in November 2021, a Leia fanpage tweeted that Fatu was B-wording her. As evidence, they attached a screenshot of Leia's relative confirming it in the text message. However, many were skeptical about these messages, saying that their language and grammar doesn't align with a native Portuguese speaker. However, Leia implicitly confirmed these allegations by tweeting that you shouldn't judge someone's Portuguese and deleting IG photos of her and Fatu. Onwards, Fatu received heaps of racist hate online. Eventually, Fatu shared her side of the story and said that this conflict was due to Leia's selfish behavior. During their Close to You comeback era, Fatu was instructed by their manager to take solo photos before any group shots as they needed them for their group's Instagram. When Leia tried to take a photo with Fatu, she declined saying the reason. Yet Leia brought this situation to the director, conveying that Fatu was trying to exclude her. As well, Fatu once overheard Leia telling a friend that when she leaves Black Swan, she'll ruin them, and Leia constantly says, I don't want to be her. I don't want to be in this group. When Black Swan went to Belgium for a performance, it upset Leia. She even said, I don't want to come to Belgium. It's tiring. Why can't Fatu see her family? Why I can't? By the way, Fatu is from Belgium. As well, she disrespected Fatu's family, causing Fatu to chide her and eventually distance herself from Leia. However, Leia never took accountability, insisting that Fatu was B-wording her. This caused Fatu to explode at her. Even though Leia and Fatu apologized in the V-Live and their companies say that they have resolved this conflict, their dynamic hasn't fully healed as Leia is on hiatus. Overall, Leia and Fatu did not get along because Leia thought about her interests while Fatu cared about the group's interests. This difference in work habits and personality created a rift between her and her bandmates. Similarly, you may have hated a groupmate for being a procrastinator or rude. Imagine how many other K-pop groups have fought over personality and workout issues, yet we don't know because they actually kept it private. Well, now someone will argue saying, well, K-pop groups train with each other for at least 1 to 10 years. Won't they at least become friends? Not necessarily. Just because you spend a long time with someone doesn't mean you'll become friends. I think we all know someone we went to elementary and high school with, and we're not friends with them. It's not because they're a bad person, it's just their personality didn't click with us. You're not going to be friends with everyone you'll meet, and that's perfectly okay. That's what I mean by some K-pop groups may just tolerate each other, but aren't friends. And also, if you take in Jessie and Amber's words into account, if you spend 24/7 with someone, especially someone you're not friends with, you're gonna go crazy because their little quirks sometimes will bother you, and sometimes you just need alone time to recharge. Like when I moved out of the house for university, guys, my relationship with my parents actually became better because I had my own space. And also, like, when I didn't see them for a while, I actually missed them, so I felt like it kind of like made me like have this really loving relationship with them. And now the fact I moved out does drive me crazy, but it's okay. I'm pretty tough. Just pray for me, but I'm pretty tough. But in general, if you spend too much time with someone, especially someone you're not really close with, you will go crazy. Now, reason number 2 is that K-pop is a competitive environment, which exacerbates this whole manufactured aspect. As a trainee, you only have a 1% chance of getting in. So oftentimes, trainees will have some sort of rivalry with each other. Back in 2020, Jessica Jung, the former member of Girls' Generation, published 2 fictional stories, Shine and Bright, which were largely based on her life as a K-pop star. Of course, this book is fictional, so you can take this example with a grain of salt, but in Shine, the main character got D-worded by another trainee, so she would show up late to a trainee evaluation and perform poorly. Like, this character actually threw up on the idol. It was that bad. And the crazy part is she ended up debuting with the member who D-worded her. Now, a lot of readers thought that the scene must be fake because how on earth would a trainee do something that extreme? Although the scene was really jarring to read, it didn't really surprise me. Since debuting is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, it makes sense that trainees would sabotage each other. I even remember in university, my friend was in this really competitive business program, and she told me in a lot of, like, class group chats, whenever someone asked, like, hey, can you help me with this question, someone would purposely send in the wrong answers so that person would fail their courses, because in this program, for you to get an internship, it's actually mainly based on your grade. So other people will try to screw each other's grades over just so they can get a shot. So because of this competitive environment, a lot of trainees may have horrible relationships with each other, yet are put together in a group. So this is why one of the reasons why a lot of K-pop groups do not get along. Now, the last reason why K-pop groups don't get along is jealousy. Na 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 oh, na 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 shura. Sorry, I'm a baby now. Of course, there's always going to be one or two members who are going to be the most popular out of the group. In turn, they tend to get more opportunities such as CF deals, lines, and even screen time. Naturally, their bandmates will get jealous of each other. Jealousy is, after all, a human trait. A great example is Miss A. Now, this is just pure speculation, but I strongly feel that there was some sort of jealousy / bad blood between the members. At the beginning of Miss A's career, they all seemed to get along. They would happily visit Suzy, the Monk 9, on her drama sets and celebrate her birthday with her. But overnight, Suzy became extremely famous through her dramas. She ended up earning the title Korea's Sweetheart. This sudden spike caused the public to view Miss A as Suzy and her friends, to the point some didn't even know Suzy was an idol and never heard of Miss A. I believe this popularity divide drove a wedge between Suzy and her members, since one of the members, Jaya, invited everyone except for Suzy for her birthday party. It's actually really petty because she even posted the pictures online to show that Suzy wasn't there. Many have speculated that Miss A's falling out is why JYP doesn't allow Twice to have solo promos until their 7th year, as he didn't want another Miss A 2.0. To be fair, this dynamic could be a result of the members drifting apart due to Suzy's schedules, but personally, since jealousy is such a human trait, I feel like it does drive a lot of groups apart. Let's talk about some groups that I don't think get along. So, Girls' Generation, Jessica spilled so much tea in the second book, Bright, and one of them was that Girls' Generation seemed to be jealous of Jessica because she would get off easy for punishments such as dating scandals, or was given more opportunities such as starting a fashion line. In fact, they felt like her business was interfering with her commitment to the group, like how she missed a fan sign or came to a dance practice 1 minute late. So after getting their parents involved with SM, Girls' Generation gave Jessica an ultimatum that she either gives up the group or her business. But after Jessica didn't comply, they actually voted her out. I mean, okay, to be fair, this is just Jessica's side of the story. We don't know her bandmates. Perhaps that Jessica was being really unethical, or maybe she was a villain. But the fact that Jessica confirmed that she was voted out shows that there was some sort of conflict within the group. ENHYPEN, oh my god, I think we all know about ENHYPEN's fast-shaming comments towards Sunhoo. I made an entire video on it. Now, to be fair, body shaming is very ingrained in Asian culture, so I think ENHYPEN may not understand the weight of their jokes. No pun intended. And also, guys tend to be very harsh with each other when they're close, so it could be just playful banter. But others think that because ENHYPEN was created through a competition show called Island, it may have influenced this dynamic. Basically, Sunwoo was always at the bottom of the competition because his contestants would try to vote him out. Many speculated that then, since there was a lot of cliques forming during Island, the contestants purposely vote him out of loyalty and competition, since Sunwoo always excelled in each challenge. Although Sunwoo wasn't in the top 6, he was actually added to the group as a producer's choice. Hence, many feel that ENHYPEN are just jealous of Sunwoo or just resent him because he managed to get into the group despite consistently being at the bottom. So again, this competitiveness and jealousy that was formed from Island is one of the reasons why people think that ENHYPEN keeps on tormenting Sunwoo. Groups I think are close. I think groups like BTS, 17, and Blackpink all seem really close to each other because they always mention about hanging out with each other's families. Like 17 mentioned on a variety show that I think when Mingyu called his dad and found out that he was hanging out with another member, and Blackpink always mentioned that their parents getting lunch with each other, their members' parents. Like, do y'all even hang out with your coworkers' parents? Like, even for me with my best friend, I think I only hanged out with her parents like a couple of times, but still, I feel like knowing someone's parents indicates a very deep personal relationship. So there is a scene in Jessica's book Shine where trainees did mock interviews, and a common question would be, Do you guys get along? And the trainees will actually practice their answers. If you want to read this excerpt of this book, it's in the description. In fact, when watching old videos of Girls' Generation in America, I noticed that Jessica always had the same response when asked, do you guys get along? The key phrases were always, we've been together since elementary school. We're like sisters. This common pattern makes me feel like these responses were rehearsed. Hence, I speculate that idols are trained to overplay their relationship on camera. This theory does make sense since Black Swan's Instagram would post pictures of Lay and Fatu looking like best friends, or even on their personal Instagrams, Lay and Fatu would post birthday posts for each other despite having some sort of tension. Could be that groups are told to go on V-Live to seem like they're friends, but the burning question is, why do companies want idols to fake their dynamics on camera? Now, getting back to IVE, I don't think it's an issue if the girls are just co-workers. For me, as long as they get along with no fights, it's fine. It's commendable that they have great stage presence and music despite not being close, as it shows their commitment and work ethic. As someone who has worked multiple jobs before, I will say learning to cooperate with people you aren't friends with is a very important life skill to have. Hence, I think it's a bit too much for fans to expect IVE to be friends. I mean, are you really friends with everyone you meet? However, I can understand why some companies want K-pop groups to act like friends. K-pop is literally built off parasocial relationships, which are one-sided relationships where one person extends emotional energy, interest, and time, and the other party, the persona, is completely unaware of the other's existence. So think about someone's connection to a celebrity or TV character. K-pop idols are marketed as your friend or lover. Why do you think dating bands exist? It's to give this illusion to fans that one day, maybe you can date your oppa. Or why do services like Bubble exist, where fans pay a subscription to message idols and see certain messages exclusive by them? By having such a personalized service, it makes it seem very intimate, like a friend sharing their deepest secrets. The key pattern with these examples is they want you, the companies, to feel like you have some sort of connection to these idols where it's romantic or platonic. This is why I think K-pop companies likes to paint a family dynamic, because it can make the fan think that they're part of this friend group and in turn support the group. Moreover, variety is a very effective way to draw fans into a certain group, namely if they have a funny dynamic with each other. In fact, whenever I meet someone who isn't ARMY, we'll go on and on about funny BTS moments, or I like to binge run BTS with my friends. Overall, a common bonding experience for many fandoms is enjoying a group's dynamic. We can see why variety strengthens this parasocial relationship. However, I do think having this parasocial relationship can be unhealthy, which is why I try to stick to the music and separate the art from the artist. So my question for you beautiful watchers is it important for a group to be close friends? Does it really matter to the standing experience? Let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new. Please subscribe because I'll be tackling these two topics next in my upcoming videos. I love you all so much. Take care. Bye-bye.